What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. Today's video, we're talking about Generation 6 X and Y, Kalos region. We got some cut content. We got some insane leak about what could have been for this generation and much more. And of course, guys, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Consider supporting the channel by joining the Pan Fam by hitting that join channel member button below. So diving right into it here. The biggest piece of information in my opinion. This is honestly the craziest thing. But South Kalos is real. Yes. A copy of Pokemon X and Y was released by the leaker. People data mined it. And Southern Kalos is 100% real. This is an actual image of it here. It was scrapped in development of making Pokemon X and Y. Now, it could have originally been part of X and Y, or what people are now thinking, looking through the data mine here, if you look at line 28, 29, it seems like these are two Kalos versions that are, it says Reserve 3 and 4, that it seems like we may have either gotten snubbed out of some DLC, some Pokemon DLC, or some sort of new video game like an X2 or a Y2. That's what it seems like from this image, because it does just list through all the different Pokemon games. So it might be what we could have gotten, but you know, we'll just have to wait and see more information on this. But what is a fact is Southern Kalos was something that was scrapped. We could have had a full dex for the Kalos region. I mean, Pokemon XY at the time felt good, but definitely looking back on it, it definitely felt like a shorter game that needed another section of it. And yep, Southern Kalos would have actually done that. Now, for the people who care about, you know, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Southern Kalos fits perfectly well into the gray part that would connect to Paldea. So that is our connection point. So right over here, down in the bottom, see how that connects all the way to Paldea and that part of the map that doesn't exist. So maybe one day we'll get this as DLC in a future Pokemon game or something like that, because I would really love to see what's happening in Southern Kalos. But that is absolutely incredible find, and probably the biggest find tonight. But another great find was Mega Jinx. So if you didn't know, Mega Jinx was a Pokemon that was supposed to happen. It is part of the Yokai trio with Electabuzz and Magmar. And, you know, in Gen 2, all of them got a baby. And in Gen 4, Jinx was the only one out of the trio not to get an evolution. We got Magmortar, we got Electivire, but we didn't get anything for Jinx. But, you know, it was supposed to be getting a Mega in Gen 6 to at least be somewhat comparable to not getting that evolution. But I still wish it got some sort of evolution. That would have been cool at the end of the day. Now, Jinx actually had the ability Magic Guard. Okay, not a bad ability. And we actually have the stats of the Mega Jinx. So 65 HP, 50 attack, 55 defense. So these aren't good, honestly. And it's good stats. 105 special attack, which is a little bit of a decrease from regular Jinx. I believe it's like 115 or 110. And then 145 special defense. This is a massive jump in special defense. And 135 speed. I'm not going to lie. One of my Discord community members mentioned this Mega Jinx stat line is very similar to like Fluttermane. So I guess Fluttermane is somehow the spiritual successor in terms of the stat line. It's just very close in general. I mean, you know, very bulky and fast on the special defense, good special attack, and then very low on the physical stuff. But honestly, a Psychic and Ice type Pokemon is not great typing, but, you know, we do have a little bit of footage of Mega Jinx. So if you didn't know, there is a little bit of footage out here. That's right, Mega Jinx. This is literally the image of Mega Jinx that we have right now, because what they did before making 3D models, they would import the 2D models into the beta version of the game. So that is the only footage of Mega Jinx at the moment, but it did have a Mega Evolution animation on top of it. Now, there is a couple of other beta Pokemon. Now, X and Y's beta images aren't as impressive as 3, 4, or 5 gens. However, I think Beta Klefki is actually really cool. I like, you know, it looks a little bit different. The face is actually really cool. I'm definitely about it. That's probably the most interesting of the beta ones, but going through the other ones, we do get beta Volcanion, so he was supposed to have this like more brown earth color to his body instead of going for the red, which, you know, who knows what they were going to do. I don't know. I guess they wanted him to be more like a rock looking guy originally, which is pretty interesting. And then Hawlucha, this was his original color scheme. Virtually the same pattern and everything, but his original color is honestly very interesting. It would have been a cool shiny, but I can't complain. Hawlucha already has an amazing shiny. So, you know, this is a nice little peek at how they were making these beta Pokemon in general. And Pokemon X and Y was actually supposed to be the first Pokemon game to have a dynamic camera. And it's sort of crazy that we have not gotten a dynamic camera in future Pokemon games, but they were really ahead of the time here in Gen 6, and I do wish they put it in. They got some video footage of this camera here. It's super sick. I mean, imagine playing through a Pokemon game where the camera actually highlights how cool your Pokemon is when they come into battle. It's like the zooming in, the zooming out. I mean, this is pretty sick. I mean, like, this would be absolutely awesome in something like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Supposedly, Masuda actually wanted this camera because in the files it's called Masuda Camera. So this was one of the big things he was advocating for. But I would absolutely love a dynamic camera. That would be super duper sick in this game for sure. Now, we also have more gameplay footage because the gameplay footage does not stop here. So this is our first look at a battle test. The very first Pokemon X and Y battle essentially was held like this. You get very stiff, unfinished models, you know. And the Pokemon that come out, as we already saw with Jinx, are just going to be PNGs. This honestly, it's so awesome that we get to see something like this. I am such a big fan of just seeing how, you know, how these games are made and how they originally look. I think this is some cool stuff, some early character models, and I think this is really funny for two reasons. The male protagonist essentially did not change at all, and he's honestly one of the male protagonists that most people, you know, wish there was a little bit more going on. But the fact that he did not change at all from his first beta design on the right to the final design to the left is actually pretty impressive. But Serena had a massive change. Original Serena had, you know, her hair completely different. Like, there was just, like, this is just not the same person. It's actually a massive design shift. So Serena, honestly, not looking too bad as the original, but this is just a massive jump. And another design change was Cinna and Dexio. Originally, they were supposed to be ace trainers, but it seems like they were changed throughout the development. And I mean, honestly, I like what they did with them. Their final models are great, but it is funny that these two characters are like, okay, we're just going to actually make them a little bit plot relevant. So I also have the beta name for Professor Sycamore, and it was Patrice, which is pretty funny. And there was actually a co-op mode in Pokemon Black and White and Pokemon X and Y, where one player can use the left stick and one player can use the D-pad to control. I don't know how that would actually work considering, you know, it's such a small handheld, but that is pretty interesting in general. And the last thing I want to show off is there is shiny sparkles in X and Y when you throw out a Pokemon. There's shiny sparkles that actually stay. No overworld shinies, but this is a really cool effect here with the Pikachu coming out of the ball. You know, this shiny sparkle is sort of going crazy. It's like constant, and I sort of like it. I can see it being annoying though to have this effect constantly on your screen, but I overall think it's pretty cool. But there we have it. That's pretty much all the important stuff that we know from the X and Y beta, the data mine, the leak for this so far. And of course, if there's any other interesting stuff, we'll have a new video out about it. There's so much to cover though, so it's really fun. Anyways, guys, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. Catch you guys next time. Peace out and have a great one.